Some or many of you may have always wondered why we never got a Demon Souls 2. We got a Demon Souls 1 on the PS3, we got a remake on the PS5, but never a sequel. Well, in this video, I'm going to shed some light on the reasons why that never happened based on a podcast interview Shuhei Yoshida did with Sacred Symbols. So for those that don't know, Shuhei Yoshida, the former director of SIE Worldwide Studios, reveals that Fromsoftware refused to develop a sequel to Demon Souls due to Sony's poor management. And as the saying goes, Shuhei Yoshida is spilling the tea through a series of statements, with the highlight being his demotion at Sony under former PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan. The ex-president of SIE Worldwide Studios has also revealed that Last of Us Online was very promising and has predicted that the PS6 will launch in 2028. Now, Yoshida has turned his attention to Fromsoftware, uncovering a previously unknown fact related to the studio's tense relationship with Sony. In the Sacred Symbols podcast, Shuhei Yoshida stated that Fromsoftware refused to release a sequel to Demon Souls after receiving poor treatment from Sony regarding the PS3 game. He talks about they were already planning a continuation, but they were so disappointed with Sony that they turned down our offer, even though we wanted to work with them again. They refused. Sony didn't believe in Demon Souls and only published it in Japan, leaving other companies to handle its release in the rest of the world. They simply thought it wouldn't interest Western audiences. Oh, and this is my take on it. Oh boy, how they were wrong. However, Yoshida himself wasn't one of the game's biggest supporters. In a 2012 interview with Game Informer, he admitted that he didn't connect with the game at first. He said at the time, this: "I had played for almost 2 hours and was still at the beginning. I thought it was crap, an incredibly bad game, so I put it as..." Fortunately, Atlas took care of publishing it in the US and Namco in Europe. It was a huge success in those territories, and we failed to see the value of the product we had. After this snub, Fromsoftware partnered with Bandai Namco to create the Dark Souls franchise, which, with 3 titles, sparked the rise of the Souls-like genre. Later, this same partnership led to other major successes for the studio, including Sekiro and Elden Ring. It is worth noting that in between, Fromsoftware and Sony buried the hatchet in 2015 to develop Bloodborne, which is still locked to freaking PlayStation. We have not gotten a remaster or remake to be on PS5 or PC. I don't know why they hate their Bloodborne fans. But Yoshida calls Bloodborne one of Hideaki Miyazaki's best games. Plus, Miyazaki himself and members of the dev team have talked about in previous interviews that Bloodborne is their favorite game they've ever made. And now, in any case, those conflicts seem to be a thing of the past, especially since Sony is now the majority shareholder of Kadokawa, Fromsoftware's parent company, whose executives were highly interested in the deal. It's possible we'll see new PlayStation exclusives from the studio in the future. For now, Fromsoftware's plans are focused on the release of Elden Ring, Night Rain, and other ongoing projects we still know about. But this is interesting to talk about, read about, because, man, Yoshida has been going in as of late on like different things, from how he was essentially forced to go into the indie role he went with the company or leave the company because Jim Ryan essentially gave him an ultimatum, and that's messed up. And he's gone into about, Last of Us Online, and now this with Demon Souls. It sucks we never got a sequel, but I can understand that from Software's side of things, if they did not agree with Sony because of their poor management. Definitely happens a lot in the video game industry still to this day. We still have a lot of poor management issues going on with not just Sony, but other companies as well. Microsoft, EA, Activision Blizzard, etc. And while Demon Souls is maybe not, the top favorite from majority of the community, it's still the game that started the Souls games or Souls-like genre, and basically is the father of Souls games. This might be also why we never got a sequel on the PS5, because despite Demon Souls Remake, I would say being a fairly successful game on the PS5 and a lot of fun, and there's still some elements of the game missed from it that, like, people's theorizers, like a missing, I think, portal or something like that in the hub that should have been added there, content missing that maybe they thought was going to be added there. Nope, it didn't. Is this a remake done by Bluepoint? Many theorized that Bluepoint was working on maybe a sequel for it or adding content to it, but nope, that's not the case. Especially learning that they were working on a live service game, God of War that is, and that got canceled, so now we don't know what the heck their next project is going to be. But yeah, that's why we never got Demon Souls 2, guys. It's because of Sony, poor management, and hopefully things get better in the future. I don't know. They just had their outage not too long ago and decided to, as a reward, to give people 5 extra days on their PS Plus, and their transparency about the whole issue is non-existent. So it doesn't seem like they're learning really anything from their past mistakes with the poor management and transparency and just communication in general. So I can imagine that this is just going to keep being a problem for them as a company going forward, no matter what, unless there's a big shift at Sony to make a big change in how they communicate, not just with us, the consumers and gamers, but also with their partners. And that's all I got for you in this video today. What do you think about this? Do you still wish there was a Demon Souls 2? Or are you fine with there not being a sequel and you're happy with the remake? Let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear from you guys. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, would appreciate a like, subscribe if you're new. My name's Mike, and I'll see you in the next video.